Welcome, Crusaders, and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. We made a little visit here to Chili Creek, and now we're going to head back out, and I believe maybe do a little bit of crusading, but then we're going to see if we can go help the Hellknights. So apparently we've got a group of Hellknights that were overrun by demons here at Reliable Readout, and came and asked for our help. So even though they would most likely not do the same for us, we will go attempt to give them a hand. Okay, so from the look of things, we've got the demon army here. It feels like we may need to engage this demon army with our own crusade army before we attempt to head in there with our party of adventurers. Oh wow, we got quite the general here. I don't think, are we able to see anything about their abilities of their general? Offensive training, +2 bonus to damage. So we might want to make sure we've got this shield of faith on people. Try to protect these rangers if they're coming after them. Okay, gargoyles are down. We're just left with these ghouls here. Victory. And, okay, everybody's replenished. Okay, we can get to the readout now. So let's just make a quick stop here at camp to rest. Okay, we rested up at camp. We're gonna head here to the Reliable Readout and find out what's going on here. Okay, let's move ahead. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like the Hell Knight continued to fight the gargoyle even from the air. They both fell to the rocks and perished. Here's somebody. Commander, come here quickly. Is this the same guy that came to our camp? From the mountain, you see a raided camp and 2 groups of warriors, one wearing white and yellow armor, the other in black. They are led by a tall man in white priest's robes. Some of the warriors glance around fretfully, their weapons shaking in their hands. You hear the screams of gargoyles from above. The beasts are approaching the camp.
Quickly, evacuate the wounded. The beasts are about to strike again. Use cloaks as stretchers. We've got to make it through. Paralector, your people will have to cover us while...
Sunrise Sword, priest.
2 more minutes left out in the open,
Red
and
Joe.
neither you nor I will have any troops left to order about, Crusader.
Red Joel.
But the wounded...
He gets a portrait, so he must be important. Oh, they're just... Jeez.
Problem solved.
Okay, we're not
Retreat to
gonna
shelter.
like this guy. One called Paralector makes a barely noticeable gesture, and the swords of his troops execute the wounded. If the man in white has anything further to add, his words are drowned out by the shrieks of gargoyles as they fall from the sky. Oh, okay. What are we getting ourselves in the middle of here? Paralector will lead the unit to shelter. We need to get through to them. Push through to the cave. Oh, we've got stuff right here. Gargoyles just dropping in.
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Okay. Gargoyles. Chaotic evil, monstrous humanoid, level 5s. Immune to prone.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Alright, good job, Lon. Took out 1.5 of them there.
Fall!
Actually, Sociel, get in here, maybe finish off this one. No. Not gonna happen. Aegis will do it. Right, Yacker. Oh, this bastard sword. Bastard Sword of Hope. Whenever the wielder of this +2 mithril-based bastard sword confirms a critical hit with it, it restores 1d8 +5 HP to the wielder. It can be wielded only by lawful good, lawful neutral, neutral good characters. That's an interesting weapon. Exotic proficiency. That's why. Okay. Well, that could be a cool weapon if we want to grab that feat. Interesting. Sunrise Sword Priestess. Oh, the sight before you is at once macabre and picturesque. A lifeless couple, a man and a woman dressed in white and yellow priest robes, lie on the ground surrounded by the bodies of dead gargoyles. They are tangled in death. The claws of the monsters are tearing at the human's clothes, and the largest gargoyle's talon has pierced the man's chest and punctured his heart. But before they died, he or his companion defeated the enemy. Suddenly, the woman opens her eyes. She doesn't look at you, but stares up at the world wound's horrific sky. Her pale lips open and she exhales abruptly. The sun will never rise again. There's only darkness above me. Even the sky here is cursed, and we along with it. Yacker, walking in the front, steps over the man's body without looking, but turns around at the sound of the woman's voice. The Mendevian faithful break too easily. Ember, all people are easily broken. The knights in pale armor help each other through the horror, but the knights in black only break each other, and everyone around them. Heal the woman. You need help. You'll feel better now. The woman pushes you away with a weak gesture. Expend your efforts on someone who can be helped. Leave me. My crusade is over. Who are you? What happened here? I'm a priestess of ardent Sarenrae from the Order of the Sunrise Sword. Next to me is Ashius Straher, the head of our order. Sorrowful pride sounds in the woman's voice. He has led our forces on raids to the Worldwound many times, but this campaign, the gargoyles attacked a few nights ago. A vast number. We've never seen anything like it. Ashius organized our resistance with great skill, but while the monsters were distracting our fighters, a small group of them raided the camp and took our supplies. We were left without food and water in the middle of the Worldwound, where it's nearly impossible to find provisions. We shared the last crumbs of our supplies and set off back the way we came. Everyone was suffering from hunger and thirst. We grew weak and could barely fight back when the gargoyles struck a second time. They snatched many of us away. I saw the pain on Ashius's face as he counted the losses, but he managed to rally us. We continued our trek and soon came across traces of a recent battle. Someone had destroyed a troop of demon worshippers. In our desperation, we decided to follow the strangers, to warn them of the gargoyles and seek their help, having no idea that they were Hellknights. But we received only scorn. Every gulp of water in my unit is accounted for, they said. They spared us 2 flasks and a sack of dried bread. They said we were allowed to keep the sack to use as bandages. 2 flasks between all of us. A sack for bandages. Seela, Hellknights. Seela curls her fists, almost grunting through her clenched teeth. I'd rather ally with the flesh-eating, poisonous wyvern. Woljif, don't expect any goodness from those black tin cans. If you meet them, count yourself lucky if you don't end up nailed to the nearest fence post. Lon, a leader has to take care of their own tribe first. All the scandalized gasps. How could he do such a thing? Suddenly fall away when you are first faced with the hard choice. Are you going to take food out of your own child's mouth to feed a starving stranger? What happened after that? The gargoyles attacked. Despite how the Hell Knight paralector had treated us, Ashius endeavored to help them and had us carry their wounded, but that monster had them slaughtered. Ashius was beside himself. It's difficult to conceive of such evil. He told our people to go with the Hell Knights to find shelter while he stayed to cover our retreat. The woman exhales softly. He was a strong cleric, but as he treated our wounded, he neglected himself, and he paid for it. Sociel. What terrible injustice, but alas, all too common. Those who care for others often perish first. Your commander can't be helped, but you're still alive. Allow me to help you and come with us. The woman looks at you wistfully. Why? So many deaths, so many sacrifices, such bravery, all for what? No, I will not go with you, stranger. My commander and I will die by what we lived for, compassion and nobility. I don't want to keep fighting for a world that bows to such laws. May the goddess forgive me. Farewell. The woman closes her eyes, exhausted. Ember, I'm sorry these good people treated you this way. If you don't have the strength to go any further, rest. We will continue your crusade, I promise you. Sociel, you're just going to leave her? I thought you would convince her to get up and fight to the end. Not her, she cannot. She won't get up. She has already died inside. Not from the gargoyle's claws, but from the wounds those good knights made in her heart. Soon she will die completely. You and I will remember her, won't we? And we will fight for her as well. Yes, Ember, I promise. Yacker shakes his head. Commander, I'm not one to advise you, but you are wasting time on this fool, and the gargoyles will soon be back. That's their usual tactics. Fly up, regroup, attack again. I'm going back to my unit now, and I'd advise you not to stay here long either. Alright, well, Zeke is regretting choice to help these guys. Although, it may be good that we're here. Maybe we need to solve a problem. We knew it was a group of Hellknights we were coming to help. So, how surprised should we be that this is what we end up with? Okay, Lon, let's
Make every
hit this
strike
gargoyle.
Break against our resolve.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Okay, Lon took care of both of those. Just this cleric left over here. Send Aegis out after them. Oh, we've got another one up there. These gargoyles keep trying to walk through here to get to Lon, and everybody just takes whacks at them when they come through. Here we go. We got more coming in. They're fixated on Lon.
Time to share your treasures.
Okay, we'll just finish off this cleric. Let's find these Hellknights. I'm not as interested in helping them anymore as reprimanding them for their behavior. Okay, here we go. I have a feeling Zeke's not gonna like what he finds in here.
Knight Commander, I presume. Your glory precedes you. I am Reginald de Renge, paralector of the Order of the God Claw, and temporary officer of the joint unit of Hellknights and the Order of the Sunrise Sword. You and your people should take positions. The gargoyles are regrouping. We expect they will attempt to break through in 5 to 6 minutes.
Is that so, Reginald deranged? The moment you step across the threshold, you're targeted with pale yellow eyes. A gnome with considerable gray in his hair, dressed in black armor, lowers his head slightly. A joint unit?
Forcibly joined. The leader of the Order of the Sunrise Sword was unable to get to safety, which is not surprising, considering his, shall we say, excessive scrupulousness and sluggishness. Given the extreme situation, I took command of his people.
Yeah, you know what? The more I learn about this situation, we're pretty pissed that this is what we get for trying to help somebody.
Just great. Paladins and Hell Knights all in the one troop. It's like catching the plague and the pox at the same time.
It's supposed to be good when different people unite.
That's cool.
We're here for a common cause. But it still gives me the creeps for some reason. Hellknights shouldn't be allowed to get their claws into our paladins. It's wrong.
That's cool that Finian chimes in. I saw you order your own wounded to be finished off.
Indeed. The gargoyles were clearly trying to capture as many prisoners as they could. I don't know the reason behind these abductions, but I'm not about to give the enemy what they want. That is why all my people were ordered not to be taken alive. And as for the wounded, we didn't have time to get them to safety anyway.
Can you hear yourself? For
Yeah.
the sake of principle, in order not to give the enemy what they want, you killed your own wounded. Helpless subordinates. Why does anyone still follow you?
Because we are Hellknights. We know our duty.
Only someone who's never been responsible for the lives of others could feel any outrage at this decision. The wounded couldn't be saved. What good would it do to anyone if the rest perished along with them?
It's interesting that Lon's background makes him sympathetic to the Hell Knights.
Paladins don't trade in lives. They strive to save everyone.
You're right, they don't. They give lives away for absolutely nothing.
Did you really give just 2 flasks of water to the Knights of the Sunrise Sword suffering from thirst in a sack to use as bandages? Standing behind his commander, Yacker rolls his eyes.
I spared
don't
them
like
the
these
exact
guys.
volume of resources I could sacrifice without risking my own people. However, the situation has developed, and I've already ordered they be given additional supplies. They are temporarily under my charge, and I can use their forces to rebuff the attack. They'll work for their water.
Regil raises his voice and speaks emphatically, ignoring a whisper coming from a group of Knights of the Sunrise Sword. He seems to be reiterating his position for their benefit. No. In a place like the Worldwound, we all need to stick together, even if that means sacrificing something for a comrade.
Noble Ashes and his Sunrise Swords have already done so. This is what it led to.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have done the same.
That's right. The chief is responsible for his own tribe. If he decides that he's responsible for the whole world, his own people will come to ruin. And if he wishes that someone else was responsible for his people, that means he's not fit to be chief.
Regil's harsh words cause a whisper among the knights in white and yellow. Yeah, you know what? You won't get away with this.
We can discuss our differences as soon as the gargoyle problem has been resolved. Speaking of which, here they are.
Hey. They're smiting. Socio got smited and he's got gargoyles surrounding him. We could use a bless, but maybe we need to just get in there on these
Do
things.
not hold back.
Get the haste. Aegis, take that one down. We got more coming. Figured. Make sure they're all up there. Okay. Yes. At this point, I wouldn't mind seeing the Yacker go down.
Cover me, all right?
Rolling his eyes at us after we come to help his group. I wonder if it'd be worth a try. The misfortune on these. Will save.
Make every strike count.
I feel like there's a chance we end up throwing down with the Hellknights after this. So I want to make sure we don't use up everything in that event.
Attack. Kneel.
Oh, Saxon got that one with the bite at the end. Oh, we got more coming in behind. Ooh. Hit us with the negative energy. Alright, everybody back over here.
Distract them for me.
Be gone, fiend!
Wow. More. They've got us surrounded. Gargoyles everywhere. Got quite the group of them there.
Time to share your treasures.
Woljeff blew up that one. Actually bring Ember up over here and hit both of these with the lightning bolt. Oh, nothing for that? Clerics have energy resistance. Should have looked at that. Seela just took a negative level. Okay, Aegis, we've got a smite. Let's use that. Good. Seela is surrounded. She's got 2 smites left. Let's use it on this cleric. Take him out.
Take you.
Come on. Miss. Oh, Seela. 3 whiffs. So we'll let these guys handle the 2 over there. Try to help Seela here.
Do not hold back.
She's holding up, but she's hurting. Come on, Zeke. Let's finish off one of these.
Strike as one.
Yeah.
Stab you or zap you?
We'll
Why
just
not both?
that one. Good.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Okay, that cleric's down. I wish he would have gone after this hunter next.
Distract them for me.
Okay, talk to paralector Regil. Mobility check there. Regil gracefully stows his weapon and places his hands behind his back. You two, check the area. Mark any potential shelters that offer protection against aerial attacks. Quartermaster, inventory the remnants of the camp. I want to make sure that the gargoyles only abducted people and weren't interested in anything else. Send messengers immediately to our scout squads and order them to return to camp. And I need a full list of casualties. Sooner the better. He turns to you and nods slightly. Commander, your arrival was well timed. Now we can finally talk. I am quite interested in the events that occurred at the Grey Garrison, and I suppose you have questions for me as well. What do you know about what happened at the Grey Garrison? Any shift in the balance of power during this war has a direct impact on my mission. If a new player appears who is capable of fighting demons effectively, then I am ready to support that person with all the resources I have at my disposal. Regil speaks pensively as if talking to himself. But naturally, I cannot blindly trust a stranger, even one marked by the gods. The gods blessed me with an incredible gift, and Queen Galfrey put me at the helm of the crusade. But that's not enough for you, is it? The will of the gods cannot and should not replace our sound judgment, and the whims of the Queen of Mendev are of no consequence at all. Regil stops for a moment, thinking. Is there anything you'd like to know before we move on to more serious issues? No, we're not one to join. What are the Hellknights doing here within the borders of the Worldwound? The same as you and your army, fighting a war against the demons. The Hellknights have always been a part of the Crusades from the very beginning. We don't answer to Queen Galfrey, and we act on our own authority. But we serve the common cause. Discari's spawn have no place in the world we want to build. Regil barks out the final words. What does paralector mean? I am the commander of this unit, and in the Order's hierarchy I am 2 steps lower than its leader. In the territory of Mendev and the World Wound there are a few who equal my rank. But I am the most senior Hell Knight officer for many leagues around. We're not done talking about your atrocities. Of course, the paralector doesn't seem hurt or surprised. If you wish, I will explain my position in detail. All the soldiers killed at my order belonged to my unit. Therefore, the case is an internal matter for the Order of the Godclaw. You could have sent an appeal to the Order commanders, but the result is inevitable. Not only do the Order's rule and field operation guidelines not prohibit it, they even recommend a policy of death is preferable to captivity. So everything that happened, though it is surely lamentable and has deprived me of a few good fighters, it is also a prime example of military necessity. Social. Well, of course, atrocities don't matter if you have a piece of paper that says committing atrocities is allowed. Tell me about it. People can't move these days for little pieces of paper. Behind every scrap, there's somebody waiting to throw the whole book at you. You can't go in there, you can't be in here. Can't go into people's houses when they're out of town. You can't sell smokes on the street. Paper pushers everywhere. Well, you know what? I cannot influence your internal rules, but I hope you understand where the jurisdiction of your order ends and ours begins. I'm not trying to force our rules on Crusaders, Commander. I hope you won't try to make us disregard ours. If the incident is settled, I suppose we can return to relevant matters. Okay, we're not going to attack them for this. That's not us either, even if we may despise their tactics. What are you going to do now, after the gargoyle attack? I will wait for my remaining fighters to return. What you see here is only a small part of my forces. As for my long-term plans, that depends on the results of our conversation, Commander. Regil narrows his eyes. Before we move on to serious subjects, I'd like to address an organizational issue regarding my unit. You may wish to be present. Yacker steps forward and salutes with a clenched fist to his chest. Paralector, permission to report. During the first gargoyle attack, I determined it necessary to leave my post. I swam over the river, found the commander's army, and asked them to provide assistance. Regil nods. The reinforcements were much needed. You will earn a double salary for your resourcefulness, Yacker, and 100 lashes for abandoning your post. The young knight grows a little pale, but immediately salutes again. Yes, Paralector. We're going to stay out of this one. Regil, who has watched you closely throughout the entire conversation, nods to himself. Now for a more delicate issue. You, Commander, were interested in our dispute with the Knights of the Order of the Sunrise Sword, correct? Their forces in Canabras suffered great losses in the demon attack, and now their leader has perished and his troops are in trouble. They are reeling with no command structure. Their order will hardly be able to recover from the losses they've suffered. What are you getting at? These fighters aren't the finest material I've worked with, but if I assume formal command over them, I'll be able to reforge them into weapons of reasonable quality. 1 or 2 might even become true Hell Knights. The rest will be put to good use as well. Yeah, no. You have already shown that you will easily sacrifice these people. Use them as living shields for your precious knights. I won't let that happen. Let them join my army. At least I don't treat my soldiers as expendables. Well then, we both have arguments to make. Let's see what these orphans say. Regil looks at the warriors in white and yellow, shifting cheerlessly from one foot to the other. Initiates of the Sunrise Sword, your leader is dead. The Order has suffered serious losses and will not be able to recover. You may return to Mendev to join another Crusader Order and hope that they don't meet the same fate as the Sunrise Sword. Or you may remain under my command. I will not promise that it will be easy or that our war-making will be constricted by your principles. What I can promise is this. Under my command, you will never again feel like helpless mice in the talons of a ravenous raptor. Sunrise Sword Priestess. Does that mean we've worked off the precious resources you spent on us? The water, medicine, and bandages? Yells one of the knights in white and yellow. I wouldn't make such an offer if I thought you were useless garbage. The initiates of the Sunrise Sword consult with each other for a time, and then one of them, a young woman in knight's armor, steps forward. Your methods of warfare and your treatment of your allies goes entirely against our ideals, paralector. Commander Zeke has already said to you everything that should be said. We've decided to follow the commander in his march on Dresden. As you wish. It's difficult to tell from Regel's face whether he's disappointed or not. Well then, Commander, let's proceed to the main question and then put an end to this exhausting conversation. We should discuss the cooperation between your forces and my own. We do share a common enemy and a common battlefield. Perception check passed here. You're looking at me strangely, paralector. When we discussed Yakker's punishment, and when we were deciding the fate of the Sunrise Sword. It's as if you're testing me. Regil lowers his head in a gesture that might be read as respectful. I do not believe I made any attempt to conceal my interest in you, both as a new, strong leader in the region, and as the bearer of a highly unusual power. Of course, I'd like to know what's inside your head. One could say that it's my duty. Oh boy. Yeah, if this were someone else, we would take your help, but I don't think so. I've helped you handle the attack, but I don't want anything more to do with you. Do I take it that this is your final decision? Unfortunately, many here in Mendev denounce the methods of the Hellknights with unreasonable bias. If that is true in this case, then I can only assure you that we can always discuss any misunderstanding and reach an agreement. I can send my forces to help your army and personally accompany you on the campaign and obey your orders so long as our interests coincide, and we can find a compromise between our positions. Would such an arrangement suit you? Ember, I like his eyes. They're still bright. Neither the darkness nor the paleness has taken them, for now. Sela, hell no. We don't need the likes of these black-armored statues. I don't want to fight side by side with someone who will slit my throat if I'm weak and wounded. You can't defeat one evil by inviting an equal, but slightly more organized evil into your ranks. Slightly more organized than the demons? I could consider that an insult. Lon. I've never dealt with Hellknights before, but from what we've seen, they're serious fighters. That's just what we need, and just think how that armor will look in the paintings they'll make about our battles. Nope. We have different paths to follow. Regil shrugs, indifferently. The World Wound is a big place. There is enough space for your forces and my own. And now if you'll excuse me, I have things to do. So he could be a companion. That's not going to be for us this time. It would be fun to do another playthrough with a totally different perspective on things. But we're going to let the Hellknights be. Alright. Well, that was I guess probably a pretty consequential choice of choosing whether or not to allow the Hellknights into our ranks. But I believe that was best choice of action. So what's this mobility check?
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
Sunrise Sword Crusader over here. Gonna talk? We're still alive. Praise be Saren Ray. Praise be. And skeleton of a man wearing armor from the time of the First Crusade. It's holding the skeleton of a child with strange proportions and animal paws instead of its right arm and leg. So we have a mongrel down here. Well, I think we're done here then. Let's go back outside here, see if anything's happening. Oh, we have an exit for the area right here. Okay. Well, I was tempted to allow Regil into our group just because it would be well, it's kind of a shame to miss the opportunity to have another potential companion just for the story, but just felt like that wasn't the right choice for this character, so we'll live with our choice. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you again here back with me next time. Bye-bye.